The lights on the bridge of the Eternal Warden flickered in a slow rhythm. Admiral Kextera stood at the center of the command deck, his forearms crossed behind his back. The ship was massive, stretching over 3 miles from front to back. It was the pride of the Zephyrian fleet and the most powerful warship in this part of space. Around him, dozens of aliens worked at their stations. Some had blue skin and 3 eyes. Others looked like walking crystals that sparkled in the dim light. A few had wings that moved slowly as they worked. All of them belonged to different species, but they worked together as one crew. The Eternal Warden led a fleet of 7 capital ships. Each ship came from a different world, a different species. They were all here for one reason: to watch the Forbidden Zone. The area of space where humans lived was sealed off from the rest of the galaxy. No one was allowed to go in. No one was supposed to come out. Lieutenant Commander Vex 9 sat at the sensor station. His insect-like body moved quickly as his 6 hands danced across the controls. His compound eyes could see dozens of screens at once. For 30 years, he had watched the empty space between the stars. Nothing ever happened here. Nothing ever changed. That was about to end. A soft beep came from his station. Then, another. Vex 9's antennae twitched as he looked closer at his screens. The readings made no sense. Something was moving toward them from the human zone. Something big. "Admiral," VEX9 called out. His voice was high and clicking, like 2 stones hitting together. "I have an unknown contact." Admiral Kextera turned around. His yellow eyes focused on the sensor officer. "Show me." The main screen at the front of the bridge lit up. It showed a map of local space with colored dots representing the fleet ships. Far away, at the edge of the screen, a red dot was moving toward him. "Distance?" the Admiral asked. 2 million kilometers in closing, Vex 9 replied. His voice was shaking now. "Speed is Admiral. This cannot be right. What is it?" "The contact is moving at 0.8 light speed. No known ship can move that fast without tearing apart." The bridge went quiet. Everyone stopped what they were doing and looked at the screen. Ships could reach light speed, but only in special jump drives that took them to another dimension. Nothing could move that fast. In normal space, the forces would crush any ship ever built. Admiral Kextara felt his stomach drop. Only one species had ever been crazy enough to try impossible things like this. Only one species was locked away in the Forbidden Zone. "Run a full scan," he ordered. "I want to know what we are looking at." Vex 9's hands moved faster across his controls. More screens lit up around him. Numbers and symbols flowed across the displays like water. After a few minutes, he stopped moving. His compound eyes went wide. "Admiral," he whispered, "the contact is— it is a human ship." The words hit the bridge like a bomb. Several aliens gasped. Others stepped back from their stations. One of the crystal beings started making a high ringing sound, the way his species screamed. Admiral Kextera felt his heart start beating faster. All 4 of them. Humans had been locked away for 50 years. 50 years since the last time they had been seen outside their zone. 50 years since the terror war that nearly destroyed 3 star systems. "Are you certain?" the Admiral asked. "Yes, sir. The energy signature matches old human designs. But Admiral, the power readings they are off the scale. This ship is generating more energy than our entire fleet." The Admiral's hands started shaking. He pressed a button on his command chair. "All ships. This is Admiral Kextara. Set condition red. Repeat, condition red. This is not a drill." Alarms started ringing throughout the ship. Red lights flashed in every corridor. All over the fleet, crews ran to battle stations. Weapons came online. Shields powered up. In minutes, 7 of the most advanced warships in the galaxy were ready for battle. But Admiral Kextara knew it might not be enough. Humans were unpredictable. They did things that made no sense. They fought battles they could not win and somehow won them anyway. They built ships that should not work, and flew them into impossible situations, and now one of their ships was coming straight toward his fleet. "Sir," called out the communications officer. She was a tall, thin alien with silver skin. "I am getting reports from the other ships. Captain Veldor of the Shardkin vessel wants to know if we should retreat. Commander Zith of the Vex ship is requesting immediate withdrawal to safe distance." Admiral Kexathar looked at the screen again. The red dot was getting closer. Still, moving at impossible speed. Still generating impossible amounts of power. "Send a message to all ships," he said. "Maintain formation. Weapons ready, but do not fire unless fired upon. And send an emergency transmission to the Galactic Council. Tell them the humans are back." The communications officer nodded and started sending messages. Around the bridge, crew members worked with nervous energy. Everyone knew the stories. Everyone knew what humans could do when they were angry. Vex 9 looked up from his sensors again. "Admiral, the human ship is slowing down. It will reach us in 20 minutes. 20 minutes. Admiral Kextera had 20 minutes to decide what to do when he met the most dangerous species in the galaxy. 20 minutes to choose between peace and war. He looked around his bridge at the faces of his crew. Aliens from 7 different worlds, all working together in harmony. This was what the galaxy could be when everyone followed the rules, when everyone stayed in their place. But humans had never been good at following rules. "All stations, prepare for contact," Admiral Kextara announced. "And may the stars help us all." The red dot on the screen grew larger as it approached. Somewhere inside that dot was a ship full of humans. Humans who had been locked away for 50 years. Humans who had just traveled impossible distances at impossible speeds. Humans who were about to change everything. Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the USS Liberty and watched the alien fleet grow larger on his main screen. 7 massive ships hung in space like sleeping giants. Each one was different from the others, built by different species, with different ideas about how ships should look. Jake was 45 years old with gray hair and tired eyes. He had spent most of his life preparing for this moment. The moment when humans would meet the galaxy again. He just hoped they would all live through it. "Captain," called out Lisa Park from the engineering station. She was a small woman, with short black hair and quick hands that never stopped moving. "The quantum drive is holding steady. All systems are green. Thank you, Lisa." Jake turned to his communications officer. "Sam, any response to our transmissions?" Sam Torres shook his head. He was young, maybe 25, with brown skin and nervous energy. "Nothing yet, sir. I keep sending the standard greeting on all frequencies, but they are not answering." Jake nodded. He had not expected the aliens to welcome them with open arms. Humans had a reputation in the galaxy. Not a good one. The Liberty was not like the alien ships outside. It was smaller, only half a mile long, but it was built with technology that did not exist 50 years ago. The hull was made of materials that could bend space around them. The engines used power from dimensions that most species did not even know existed. "Sir," said Alex Stone from the tactical station. He was a big man, with thick arms and a deep voice. "I count 7 capital ships and 23 escort vessels. They all have weapons powered and pointed at us. Any hostile actions? No, sir. They are just watching us. But Captain, their weapons are old. Real old. The energy patterns look like stuff we stopped using 20 years ago." Jake almost smiled. 20 years ago, humans had been locked in their small corner of the galaxy with nothing to do but think and build and learn. While the rest of the galaxy stayed the same, humans had moved forward. Far forward. Distance to the fleet, Jake asked. 50,000 kilometers, and closing, Alex replied. "We should be in communication range in 5 minutes." Jake walked to the center of his bridge and looked around at his crew. 200 humans on this ship. All of them volunteers. All of them knowing they might never see Earth again. They had come out here to change history. To show the galaxy that humans were not the monsters they remembered. "Captain," said Dr. Rachel Kim from her science station. She was older than the others, maybe 50, with silver hair and smart eyes behind thick glasses. "I have been studying the alien fleet formation. They are scared." "How can you tell?" "Look at how they are positioned. The most powerful ships are in front, but they are spread out. They want to be able to run if they need to. And sir, they have been sending messages to each other for the last 10 minutes. Emergency frequencies." Jake nodded. Fear made people do stupid things. He needed to be careful. "Sir," Sam called out, "I have an idea. What if we slow down more? Show them we are not attacking. Do it. Cut our speed in half." The Liberty's engines changed their sound. The ship moved slower through space toward the waiting alien fleet. On the main screen, Jake could see the alien ships more clearly now. Some had smooth curves like teardrops. Others were all angles and sharp edges. One looked like it was made of crystalline, caught the light from nearby stars. "Captain," Alex said, his voice tight. "They are charging weapons. All of them. Hold steady. Do not power our weapons. I want them to see we are not a threat. Sir, if they shoot first, we might not get a chance to fight back." Jake looked at his tactical officer. Alex was a good man and a good soldier, but he was thinking like a warrior, not like a diplomat. "Alex, if we power weapons now, they will see it as an attack. Then we all die. Our only chance is to show them we come in peace." "Sir," Dr. Kim said, "I am picking up massive energy readings from their fleet. They are really scared. Some of their ships are backing away." On the screen, Jake could see it too. 3 of the alien ships were moving backward, putting distance between themselves and the Liberty, but the other 4 stayed in place, their weapons still pointed forward. "Sam, open a channel on all frequencies. Let me talk to them." "Channel open, sir." Jake took a deep breath. The next few words might decide if this ended in peace or war. "This is Captain Jake Morrison of the United Earthship Liberty. We come in peace and request permission to approach for peaceful negotiations. We have no hostile intent. Repeat, we come in peace." The bridge went quiet as they waited for a response. Seconds turned into minutes. Jake could feel his crew's tension growing. "Sir," Sam said quietly. Still no response. "Keep trying. Send the message again." As Sam repeated the transmission, Jake thought about how they had gotten here. 50 years ago, humans had been young and angry and ready to fight anyone who looked at them wrong. They had started 3 wars in 5 years. The galaxy had decided humans were too dangerous to be free, so they had built a wall around human space, energy barriers that could not be crossed, guard fleets to watch every border. For 50 years, humans had been prisoners in their own small part of the galaxy, but being prisoners had taught them things: how to work together, how to think before fighting, how to build better tools and better ships and better ways of living. "Captain," Lisa called out from engineering. "Something is happening with the alien fleet. They are moving." Jake looked at the screen. The alien ships were changing position. The 3 that had backed away were now very far off. But the 4 remaining ships were moving closer together, forming a wall between the Liberty and the rest of space. "Sir," Alex said, "that looks like a battle formation, or a blockade," Dr. Kim added. "They might be trying to stop us from going any further." Jake made a decision that would change everything. Instead of stopping or turning around, he ordered the Liberty to keep moving forward, but slowly, very slowly. "Sam, send another message. Tell them we will stop engines and drift. Tell them we want to talk." "Yes, sir." Jake watched the alien ships grow larger on his screen. Somewhere on those ships, alien commanders were trying to decide what to do: fight or talk, kill or listen. Captain, Sam said suddenly. I am getting a response. Audio only. Put it through. A voice filled the bridge. It was deep and strange, speaking words that the translation computers turned into English. Human vessel, you are in violation of galactic law. Turn around immediately, or you will be destroyed. Jake stepped forward. This is Captain Morrison. We request peaceful contact. We have information the galaxy needs to hear. There will be no contact. Turn around now. I cannot do that, Jake said quietly. Too much depends on this meeting. The alien voice was quiet for a long moment. Then, you have been warned. The channel went dead. On the screen, the alien ships powered their weapons to full charge. Jake looked around his bridge one more time. His crew looked back at him with trust and fear and hope all mixed together. All stations, prepare for whatever comes next, he said. We came here to change history. Let's see if we can do it without getting killed. Admiral Kextera stared at the human ship on his screen and felt his world changing. The Liberty hung in space like a dark needle, smaller than his own ship but somehow more frightening. For 20 minutes, both fleets had watched each other, without moving. No one wanted to fire the first shot. Sir, said his communications officer, the Galactic Council has responded to our emergency message. Show me. A new screen appeared with symbols that hurt to look at. The message was short and clear. Destroy the human vessel immediately. Use all necessary force. Report when mission is complete. Admiral Kextera read the message 3 times. His hands shook as he closed the screen. The Council wanted him to start a war. They wanted him to kill the humans before they could speak. But something was wrong with that plan. The human ship had not fired a single shot. It had not charged weapons or raised shields, or done any of the things warriors did before battle. It just sat there, waiting. Admiral, called out Lieutenant Commander Vex-9. The human ship is scanning us. What kind of scans? Not weapons. Scans, sir. It looks like ... science scans. They are studying our engines, our hull design, our power systems. But they are not looking for weak spots. They just seem curious. Admiral Kextara felt more confused. Humans were supposed to be violent and unpredictable. They were supposed to attack first and ask questions later. But this ship was acting more like explorers than warriors, on the Liberty. Captain Jake Morrison watched his science officer work. Dr. Rachel Kim had been studying the alien ships for the last hour. Her screens showed detailed pictures of alien technology. What do you see, Rachel? Jake asked. Captain, this is amazing. Each ship is completely different. The crystal ship seems to be grown rather than built. The insect ship uses biological computers, and the big ship in the center. It has technology from at least 4 different species, all working together. What about their weapons? Old, very old. Their energy cannons are powerful but slow. Their missile systems use chemical explosives instead of antimatter. Captain, we could probably disable their entire fleet without killing anyone. Jake nodded, but did not feel happy about it. Having better weapons was not the point. The point was not needing to use weapons at all. Sir, said Alex Stone from Tactical, 3 of their ships are moving away from us. But the other 4 are forming a tighter formation. I think they are trying to decide what to do. Keep monitoring. Do not target anything unless they fire first. On the alien flagship, Admiral Kextara was having the same problem. Half his fleet wanted to retreat. The other half wanted to attack. No one seemed to know what the right choice was. Sir, said the communications officer, Captain Veldo, of the Shardkin ship is requesting permission to withdraw. She says her people cannot risk a war with humans. What about the others? Commander Zith of the Vex ship wants immediate attack. He says waiting gives the humans time to prepare. Captain Zolnine of the Lumen ship suggests peaceful contact. Admiral Kextera felt like his head was going to explode. 7 different species, 7 different opinions. The only thing they all agreed on was that humans were dangerous. But were they? The Admiral looked at his screens again. The human ship had been sitting in the same spot for an hour. It had not moved closer. It had not powered weapons. It had not even raised shields. If humans really wanted to attack, why were they waiting? Sir, Vex-9 called out. I am getting new readings from the human ship. They are powering down their engines. What? Their main engines just went offline, sir. They are running on minimal power only. Admiral Kextera could not believe what he was hearing. Ships powered down engines when they surrendered, or when they trusted the people around them not to attack. Are they surrendering? Asked the communications officer. I do not think so, the Admiral replied. I think they are trying to show us something. On the Liberty, Jake Morrison had made his choice. Lisa, take the main engines offline. Keep only life support and communications running. Sir, if they attack now, we will not be able to run, Lisa said. I know, but maybe they will not attack if they see we are not running. Dr. Kim looked up from her science station. Captain, I am reading massive confusion on the alien ships. Their power levels are changing. Some are charging weapons, others are backing away. I think we have them completely confused. Good. Confused people think before they shoot. Sir, said Sam Torres, I have an idea. What if we send them our technical specifications? Show them what our ship can do. Alex Stone turned around quickly. Sam, that is crazy. You never show enemies your capabilities. But they are not enemies, Sam replied. They are just scared. Jake thought about it. Showing technical specs was against every military rule ever written. But this was not a normal military situation. Do it, Jake said. Send them everything. Engine specs, weapon systems, defensive capabilities. Everything, sir. Alex looked shocked. You heard me. If we want them to trust us, we have to trust them first. On the alien flagship, Vex-9 suddenly started making excited clicking sounds. Admiral, the humans are transmitting data. Technical specifications of their ship. Is it a trick? I do not think so, sir. This looks like complete engineering data. Engine designs, weapon systems, hull composition. Admiral, this data shows technology far beyond anything we have. Admiral Kextera felt the universe shift around him. Humans were sharing their secrets. Warriors did not share secrets. But scientists did. Explorers did. People who wanted peace did. Show me their weapons. The Admiral ordered. Vex-9, single quotes is screen filled with technical drawings that made no sense. Energy patterns that should not exist. Weapons that could tear apart space itself. Sir Vex-9 whispered, if these specifications are real, this one human ship could destroy our entire fleet. Easily. The Admiral stared at the screen. The human ship had weapons that could kill them all. But instead of using those weapons, they had turned off their engines and shared their secrets. Sir, the communications officer said, all ships are requesting new orders. They have all received the human technical data. They want to know what to do. Admiral Kextera looked around his bridge. His crew was staring at him with wide eyes. They all understood what the data meant. Humans had become something far more dangerous than anyone had imagined, but they were not acting dangerous. Open a channel to the human ship, the Admiral ordered. Channel. Open, sir. Human vessel. This is Admiral Kextera, of the Galactic Council Fleet. Why have you shared this information with us? The response came quickly in a calm, steady voice. Admiral, we shared it because we want you to understand something. We could have attacked you. We could have destroyed your fleet before you knew we were here. But we did not. We came here to talk, not to fight. You are in violation of galactic law. Laws can be changed, Admiral. We are here to ask for that change. Admiral Kextera felt something he had not felt in years. Hope, maybe, just maybe. There was a way through this that did not end in death. But first, he had to make a choice that would change the galaxy forever. The second message from the Galactic Council arrived like a hammer blow. Admiral Kextera read it twice before he could believe the words. The Council was not just ordering him to destroy the human ship. They were threatening to destroy his entire fleet if he did not follow orders immediately. "Sir," said his communications officer, her silver skin pale with fear, "the Council says we have 1 hour to complete the mission. If the human ship still exists after that time, they will send the Omega Fleet to finish the job." Admiral Kextera felt ice in his veins. The Omega Fleet was the Council's final solution. 50 massive warships designed to destroy entire star systems. If they came here, everyone would die. Humans, aliens, everyone. "How long until they arrive?" he asked. 6 hours from now, sir." 6 hours. The Admiral had 6 hours to either kill the humans or find another way to stop a war. On the Liberty, Captain Jake Morrison was making the biggest gamble of his life. He stood in his small conference room looking at a table full of data chips. Each chip contained information that could change the galaxy, medical advances that could cure diseases, engineering plans that could give unlimited clean energy, agricultural techniques that could end hunger forever. "Captain," Dr. Rachel Kim said from across the table, "are you sure about this? Once we give them this information, we cannot take it back." "I am sure," Jake replied. "Rachel, we tried being locked away for 50 years. It did not work. Now we try being open and honest. Maybe that will work better." Chief Engineer Lisa Park picked up one of the data chips. "This one chip contains our entire fusion reactor design. With this, any species could have unlimited power. And this one," added Science Officer Maria Santos, pointing to another chip, "has the cure for the Vex plague that has been killing their people for decades." Jake nodded. Humans had spent 50 years learning and growing and becoming better. While the galaxy stood still, afraid of change, humans had moved forward. Now it was time to share what they had learned. "Sam, send all of this to the alien fleet. Everything we have." "Sir," Sam Torres said quietly, "this goes against every rule of first contact. We are supposed to share technology slowly, carefully. Sam, we do not have time for slow and careful. In 6 hours, the Council will send a fleet to kill us all. Our only hope is to show them what they will lose if they choose war over peace." The data transmission took 30 minutes to complete. Terabytes of information flowed from the Liberty to the alien ships. Medical knowledge, engineering advances, agricultural techniques, energy systems, transportation technology, everything humans had learned in 50 years of forced isolation. On the alien flagship, Lieutenant Commander Vex-9 watched his screens fill with data that should not exist. His compound eyes moved quickly from screen to screen, trying to understand what he was seeing. "Admiral," he called out, his voice high with excitement. "The humans have sent us, everything. Medical cures, engineering plans, energy systems. Sir, there is a cure here for the plague that has been killing my people." Admiral Kextera moved to the science station and looked at the screens. The data was incredible. Humans had not just been hiding for 50 years. They had been learning, growing, becoming something new. "Sir," said the crystal officer at the navigation station. Her voice sounded like wind chimes in a storm. "The agricultural data shows ways to grow food in dead soil. My people could feed millions more with this knowledge." "And the energy systems," added the communications officer. "Clean fusion power that produces no waste. We could shut down all the dirty reactors in the galaxy." Admiral Kextera felt his worldview cracking. Everything he thought he knew about humans was wrong. They were not the violent primitives from 50 years ago. They had become something else. Something better. "Sir," Vex-9 said quietly, "there is more. The humans have sent us historical data. records of what they have been doing for the last 50 years. Show me. New screens appeared, showing pictures and videos from human space. Cities powered by clean energy. Farms that grew food without harming the environment. Factories that built things without creating pollution. And everywhere, humans working together in ways that seemed impossible. Sir, the communications officer said, I am getting reports from all ships in the fleet. They have all received the human data. Captain Veldor says the medical advances could save her dying homeworld. Commander Zith says the agricultural techniques could end the food riots on his planet. Admiral Kextera looked around his bridge. Every alien on his crew was staring at screens full of human knowledge. Knowledge that could solve problems that had existed for centuries. Sir, Vex9 said softly, the humans could have kept all of this secret. They could have used it as weapons against us, but they just gave it all away. For free. The Admiral nodded slowly. Humans had technology that could destroy the galaxy. But instead of using it to threaten or conquer, they were sharing it to help. That changed everything. Open a channel to the human ship, the Admiral ordered. The screen showed Captain Morrison standing on his bridge. He looked tired, but determined. Captain Morrison, the Admiral said, why have you given us this information? Because, Admiral, we learned something important during our 50 years of isolation. We learned that survival is not about being stronger than your enemies. It is about not having enemies at all. But the Council has ordered me to destroy you. They say humans are too dangerous to be free. Captain Morrison smiled sadly. Admiral, look at the data we just sent you. Does that look like the work of dangerous people? Or does it look like the work of people who want to help? Admiral Kextara looked around his bridge again. His crew was still studying human technology that could save millions of lives. Technology that humans could have used to dominate the galaxy, but they had chosen to share instead. Captain, the Admiral said slowly, the Council has given me direct orders. If I do not destroy your ship, they will send the Omega Fleet. Everyone will die. I know, Captain Morrison replied. That is why I am about to make you an offer that will change everything. What kind of offer? I am inviting you and representatives from each of your ships to come aboard the Liberty, to see for yourself what humanity has become, to meet us face to face and decide if we are really the monsters you remember. The bridge went completely silent. In 300 years of galactic history, no human had ever invited aliens aboard their ship. The two species had met only in battle or at great distances. You would trust us on your ship? The Admiral asked. Admiral, if we cannot trust each other, we will all die in 6 hours when the Omega Fleet arrives. But if we can trust each other, maybe we can find a way for everyone to live. Admiral Kextara felt the weight of the galaxy on his shoulders. The choice he made in the next few minutes would decide the fate of billions of people. He looked at his crew one more time, aliens from different worlds, working together in peace. Maybe it was time to see if humans could be part of that peace. 2. Captain Morrison, the Admiral said finally, we will come aboard your ship, but if this is a trap, it is not a trap, Admiral. It is a chance, maybe the only chance we will get. Admiral Kexthera closed the channel and turned to his crew. Prepare a shuttle, and may the stars help us all, because we are about to make history. Admiral Kexthera stepped off the shuttle and into the Liberty's docking bay. He had been in hundreds of spaceships in his long life, but this one felt different. The walls seemed to glow with their own light. The air smelled clean and fresh, like a forest after rain. Behind him came the other representatives. Captain Veldor of the crystal ship moved like flowing water. Commander Zith of the insect ship made soft clicking sounds as he looked around. Captain Zol9 of the energy beings floated slightly above the floor, her light pulsing with curiosity. Captain Jake Morrison waited for them at the airlock. He was shorter than the Admiral had expected, and older. His hair was gray, and his face headlines that spoke of many years thinking hard thoughts, but his eyes were kind. "Welcome aboard the Liberty," Captain Morrison said. "Thank you for coming." Admiral Kextra nodded stiffly. "Captain, I hope you understand the risk we are taking. If this meeting goes wrong, it could start a war that destroys us all." "I understand completely," Jake replied. "That is why we need to make sure it goes right." Jake led them through corridors that seemed too clean and too bright. Everything was white and silver, with curved walls that made the ship feel alive. Along the way, they passed human crew members who nodded politely but did not stare. The aliens had expected to see soldiers and weapons. Instead, they saw scientists and engineers. "This is our main science lab," Jake said as they passed a large room full of strange equipment. Through the windows, they could see humans working with technologies that seemed impossible. "What are they doing?" asked Captain Veldor. Her crystal voice rang like bells. "Dr. Beth Davis is working on a new form of food production that could feed 1 billion people using the energy from a single star," Jake explained. "And Tony Clark over there is designing engines that can travel between galaxies without using fuel." Commander Zith stopped walking. "Between galaxies, that is impossible. A lot of things we do would have been impossible 50 years ago," Jake said with a smile. "Being locked away taught us to think in new ways." They continued through the ship, seeing wonders at every turn. Medical bays where diseases were cured with light and sound. Engineering sections where materials were built atom by atom. Computer systems that thought faster than any biological brain. But what struck the aliens most was not the technology. It was the humans themselves. They worked together without fighting. They shared ideas freely. They seemed happy to be alive and excited about the future. "I do not understand," Admiral Kextera said as they reached the main conference room. 50 years ago, humans were violent and unpredictable. You started wars over small disagreements. What changed?" Jake gestured for them to sit around a large table made of some kind of clear material that seemed to float in the air. "Admiral, what changed was that we learned the difference between strength and power. For most of our history, we thought being strong meant being able to hurt others. But 50 years of isolation taught us that real strength comes from being able to help others." Dr. Rachel Kim joined them at the table, carrying data tablets for each alien representative. "These contain detailed plans for all the technologies we have shared with you," she said. "Instructions for how to build them, how to use them safely, how to improve them further." Captain Zolnane's energy form flickered with surprise. "You are giving us the plans to build your advanced weapons. We are giving you plans to build tools that can make life better for everyone in the galaxy," Jake corrected. "Some of them could be used as weapons, yes. But that choice is yours to make." Commander Zith picked up one of the tablets and studied the information on its screen. "This medical data, it really can cure the plague that has been killing my people." "It can," Dr. Kim confirmed. "And not just cure it. It can prevent it from ever coming back." "Why?" Admiral Kextara asked suddenly. "Why are you helping people who have kept you prisoner for 50 years?" Jake was quiet for a moment, thinking about how to answer. Finally, he said, "Admiral, during our isolation, we had a lot of time to think about what we had done wrong. We realized that we had been trying to take our place in the galaxy by force. But you cannot build peace through violence. You can only build it through understanding. But the Council will never accept this," Captain Veldor said. "They are too afraid of what humans might do with advanced technology." "Then we need to show them they have nothing to fear," Jake replied. "That is why I am making you all an offer." "What kind of offer?" Admiral Kexter asked. "Come with us to the Council station. Let us present our case together. Humans and aliens working as partners instead of enemies." The room went silent. The idea was so radical, so unprecedented, that none of the aliens could speak for several minutes. Finally, Commander Zith made a series of rapid clicking sounds. You want us to betray our own people? I want you to save your own people, Jake said firmly. In 4 hours, the Omega fleet will arrive here. They will destroy this ship, your ships, and probably this entire star system. Millions will die. But if we go to the council together, maybe we can stop that from happening. Admiral Kexthera felt the weight of history pressing down on him. The choice he made in the next few minutes would echo through the galaxy for centuries to come. Captain Morrison, he said slowly, if we do this, there is no going back. The council will consider us traitors. Or they will consider you heroes, Jake replied. The people who prevented a war and opened a new age of cooperation. Dr. Kim leaned forward. Admiral, look at the technology we have shared with you. Imagine what we could accomplish if we worked together. Diseases could be eliminated. Hunger could end. We could explore new galaxies, discover new forms of life, push the boundaries of what is possible. Or, added Chief Engineer Lisa Park, as she joined the meeting, we can all die in 4 hours when the Omega fleet arrives. Admiral Kexthera looked around the table at the faces of both humans and aliens. 50 years ago, these two groups had been enemies. Now they sat together, talking about a shared future. Captain Morrison, the Admiral said finally, if we agree to this, what guarantee do we have that humans will not use their advanced technology to dominate the galaxy? Jake smiled. Admiral, the only guarantee I can give you is the same one. You are giving us trust. We have to choose to trust each other, or we will all die alone. Admiral Kexthera stood up slowly. Around the table, the other alien representatives watched him with wide eyes. The decision he made now would change everything. Very well, he said. We will go with you to the council station. But Captain, if this goes wrong, Admiral, we will face the consequences together, as partners. 2 hours later, the impossible happened. The Liberty and 4 alien ships jumped to hyperspace together, heading for the Galactic Council station. In the lead was the human ship, followed by alien vessels that had chosen to trust instead of destroy. Behind them, the Omega fleet arrived to find empty space where a battle should have been. For the first time in galactic history, a crisis had been solved through cooperation instead of violence. At the council station, alarms rang as sensors detected the approaching ships, humans and aliens traveling together as equals. It was something no one had thought possible. But as the mixed fleet approached the station, people throughout the galaxy watched on their communication screens and wondered if maybe, just maybe, a new age was beginning. An age where differences could be settled through understanding instead of war. Captain Jake Morrison stood on his bridge and watched the council station grow larger on his screen. Somewhere on that station, politicians would decide the fate of both humans and aliens. But for the first time in 50 years, humans would not face that decision alone. They would face it with friends.